Okay, here we go. Hello, everybody. Good evening. I am now here with Dr. Doug. He is back. We are doing this thing. Yay!
Hey.
He is back again. So I feel like we need the da-da-da, da-da-da, da-da-da. Were you doing the Cabbage Patch? Because I'm almost 40, and I feel like that's my
version. There's my own version of that. So.
Okay, that's cool. That's totally cool. I like that. So that shows ownership. That's good ownership, right? Ownership of a dance move. So we're talking about the number one reason why everyone should use essential oils on a daily basis. And I want to hear what you have to say. You guys, as you're watching, go ahead and ask the questions that you have. Go ahead and give Dr. Doug the props. Do all of the things, right? But you can go ahead and take it away and share your brain with us.
Okay, so I wanted to talk tonight about the number one reason why I think everyone on the planet should use essential oils. It has nothing to do with growing your team or making more sales, although that will be an offshoot of this or a derivative. But I really do believe this, and it has a lot of science behind it. So I'm going to try to explain that in a short period tonight that we have together. But I do have a class called Protecting Your DNA that will help you understand more details about it. So we'll go over that as we go through it. So, so the most important thing we have in our body is our DNA. Okay. So why? Because that is the instructions that tell our cells how to work. It's the programming. So if you have a computer system with a hard drive on it, and there's software running the computer, the operating system, that is the most important part of the computer. It tells the computer how to work. If that doesn't work, the computer doesn't work at all. So same thing with our bodies. If the DNA is malfunctioning in any way, that leads to health and disease. Now, the primary cause of aging, of age-related diseases, is mutations in our DNA. So when the instructions in our DNA get mutated, which they do, and I'll explain why, that accumulates, that damage accumulates in our DNA, and it ends up leading to disease as more and more genes get mutated. So first off, I want to ask everyone a question and have you answer this question. So if you were to take all of the DNA in our body, all right, so every single one of the cells in our body have DNA except for red blood cells. They start out with DNA and then they lose it. But every other cell in our body has DNA. If you were to take all that DNA and connect it together end to end and just stretch it out, how long do you think it would be? So if anybody can take guess, they can answer, comment, and you can read them off to me.
Yeah, go ahead and guess, you guys. There's going to be a little bit of a lag here.
Okay, it's fine.
I'm going to... I think I've heard this before, but I'm still going to be wrong.
Yeah.
It's first of all, it's insanely long, right? I don't even know. Like very, very, like a long way. Can that be my answer? Let's
right.
Sherilyn says 100 miles.
100 miles. Okay, keep going.
Oh, keep going. Longer. I felt like it was to the moon and back.
Keep going.
Okay, so to what's further than the moon? The sun. Now we're going to get into how stupid I am.
The sun is farther away. Keep going.
Oh, the end of the universe and back?
No, not that far.
Okay.
To Pluto, which is the first planet in our solar system, and back 12 times. So
12 times?
Yeah. So that's 34 billion with a B miles. So if it were to wrap around the equator of the Earth, it would go around the equator of the Earth. Just the DNA from your body would go around the equator of the Earth 1.4 million times.
Just end to end, like the telomeres? Like just kind of...
Connect
that-
it all together. Yeah, connect every piece of DNA in every cell of your body. Now, your body has something like 30 trillion cells.
Yeah.
And each cell, just one of the cells, has 6 feet of DNA. It's all packed together and wound together inside the nucleus of your cell in a nanoscopic size, little volume of space without getting tangled. But if you were to stretch it out from one cell, it'd be 6 feet long. So, and if you took every single cell, it would be 34 billion miles or 1.4 million times around the equator of the Earth. Okay,
That's insane.
it is insane. And if you look at the information content in the DNA, if you look at all the DNA in our body, it'd have information content of 1 followed by 22 zeros. That's how many bits of information are in the DNA, okay? An incredible amount of information that gives the instructions on how our cells should work, how our body should function. Now, that 34 billion miles of DNA is under attack every single day from oxidants. All right, so oxidants are attacking our DNA millions of times each second, every day, in every cell of our body. Now, our cells have protective mechanisms to protect the DNA from oxidative damage. Okay, now there's only so many of those systems in place and different layers in place, and they can get overwhelmed when we become oxidatively stressed. All right, so when our bodies get oxidatively stressed, and I can explain what causes that here in a second, when your bodies get oxidatively stressed, that oxidating or reactive oxygen species, we call them, or free radicals is another term you might hear. But free radicals or oxidants or reactive oxygen species that are all in the same family, those are oxidating molecules that will attack your DNA. All right, and we have systems in place to try to protect against that. Now, when it attacks the DNA, basically what happens is the DNA gets damaged. A piece of the information gets changed in the DNA. So we like if you went to your computer's hard drive and you change one of the lines of code to gibberish. Right? So it wouldn't make any sense. It'd just be like changing the line of code in the software to gibberish. So that's what happens. Now we have systems in place to repair the DNA when it gets damaged. We have enzymes, proteins that scan the DNA millions of times each second, looking for any damage. If it finds damage, it will cut it out and synthesize a new strand of DNA with the correct information. It's called DNA repair. So there's 130 different enzymes in our cells that do DNA repair on an ongoing basis every day. Okay?
So enzymes do DNA repair, is what you just said.
There's a special class of enzymes called DNA repair enzymes.
Okay.
There's 130 different ones in the human body that scan the DNA looking for damage, and they each have a different role to play. Okay, they're looking for different types of damage. And they all have a different function with 130 different enzymes, but they will repair the DNA, and that's happening millions of times each second. Okay, now people
Can I ask a quick question? Are those in any of our essential zymes? Like, is that
no?
No. Okay, just so it's like our body creates those, and they can't be.
Those aren't in any of the Young Living products.
Okay.
Okay, so those enzymes are produced by our own genes, and there's instructions in the DNA to make those enzymes. Okay, repair enzymes. Now, people that have defective enzymes, their DNA mutates faster than someone else's because it's not getting repaired. They'll get cancer. So there's children that go outside in the first exposure to the sun, they'll get skin cancer. It's called xeroderma pigmentosum. So there's mutations that can occur when you're born, genetic mutations that are basically defects in those repair enzymes. But we all have these repair enzymes, and depending on how well they're functioning is going to depend on, it's going to dictate how well the DNA is repaired. Okay? So DNA is getting damaged all the time. DNA repair enzymes are going to work to try to repair it. Now, what happens is those repair enzymes are not perfect. They don't catch every single piece of damage that occurs in our DNA, especially if we're under oxidative stress. And the protective antioxidants our cells make don't work, and then the DNA repair doesn't work, or is it can't keep up with the rate at which our DNA is mutating because we're under too much oxidative stress, then we will accumulate errors in our DNA and in our genetic code. Okay, and there's when that why that's bad is because if it accumulates in one of the cells, that cell, what happens to that cell? It divides into two more cells. It copies the information in this cell, which now has an error in it, and it's now two cells. And then those two become four.
Yeah.
8, 16, 13, 32, 64, 128, 256. It just keeps doubling. So that cell will then pass on its mutation to the progeny, right? So now you have something that's, then those progeny get another mutation, and then they start dividing more. So you get these mutations that accumulate over your lifetime. So like the average cancer cell has like something like 60,000 mutations in it. So there's a certain threshold of mutations that occur in the DNA where the DNA just says, you know what, the instructions are now so faulty, the cell doesn't really know what to do. So sometimes cells will commit suicide, which is called apoptosis, to try to take themselves out of commission so that it doesn't damage the rest of the organism. Okay.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah. If that program doesn't work and the cell doesn't take itself out of commission, then what can happen is those genetic mutations that accumulate basically damage the instructions that tell a cell when it should divide, when it shouldn't. So every one of our cells has a program, and it knows when it should grow and divide and when it should stop growing and dividing. That's why our bodies have the shape they do, our organs have the shape they do. We're not continually growing into this big blob, you know. We have, so the cells know exactly when they
get it though.
You see what I'm saying? So
it's these circles.
So cells know when they should divide, when they should stop dividing. There's signals. When the DNA gets damaged enough, that programming that controls the cell cycle, when it should grow, when it should stop growing, dividing, that stops working. Now the cell just keeps dividing all the time, doesn't know when to stop. It just keeps growing and growing and growing, dividing. That's cancer. That's a tumor. That's when you get cancer. But even before cancer takes hold, you're getting aging. Your skin is getting wrinkly. You're getting, tired and sluggish. You're losing energy. All the tissues and organs in your body are slowing down. So this is just general aging. That's occurring because of the oxidative damage to your DNA. Mm-hmm. Okay. So that's what causes aging. That's what causes most disease is DNA damage. So we have to do things to protect our DNA. That's the number one thing we should do. If you're looking at anything you should do with your health, anyone, the number one thing you should do is protect your DNA at all costs, because that's going to dictate how fast you age and what diseases you're going to get and when you're going to get them. It's protecting the ability that you have to protect your DNA. How do you protect your DNA? There's one fundamental thing you can do to protect. Well, there's two fundamental things. One is remove all the toxins out of your house, right? Cleaners, personal care products that you put on your body, and hairspray and all that junk, makeup, and replace it with all plant-based natural products. Is my internet connection working okay?
Yeah, yeah, you're totally good.
Okay, because it just came with a note said it was slow or something. Okay, so
yeah, you're fine.
So getting all the toxins out of your house, ditch and switch, replace everything in your home. And Young Living has a great assortment of products to get everything switched over in your house. So that's the number one thing you can do, because those toxins are basically mutagens or oxidants that will damage your DNA. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So you get that out, that's getting rid of a lot of the insults. So number two, the second thing is to use antioxidants. Antioxidants block oxidants from damaging your DNA before your DNA. It doesn't allow your DNA to get damaged because the antioxidants, against, right, fight or neutralize the oxidants. All right. So there's different types of antioxidants. All right. So if you look at the universe of antioxidants, there's antioxidants your body naturally produces, like glutathione. Okay. Like so different enzymes like GSH. Okay. Catalase, superoxide dismutase. These are enzymes that your body normally makes that help that are antioxidant in nature. Okay.
Mhm.
That's your body's normal systems, right? Then you have to supplement that with another layer of antioxidants. So what you eat, what you drink can have antioxidants in it. Now, plants are great sources of antioxidants. Okay. What's the best source of antioxidants, if you had to guess, out of all the plant world, what would you guess?
Wolfberries.
Wolfberries are good. Yeah, I would definitely use wolfberries. But just a kind, not a specific plant, but a kind of product that comes from plants. Category of product.
Oils.
Yes, essential oils.
Okay. Question. Yeah.
So essential oils are the best antioxidants out there. And there's two reasons why they are. And I go over that in my class, Protecting Your DNA. I go to show you why. Okay, but essential oils molecules have chemical features associated with them that make them particularly strong antioxidants. Okay, so that's number one. So they have two different chemical things going on, and I explain that in my class. But I won't go into that tonight because it takes a long time to explain.
Yeah.
The second thing about essential oils that makes them great antioxidants is the fact that you have, like we explained last time in the last class I did when I was in here, essential oils are not just one molecule. They're an assortment or a blend of different molecules, right? So you have different antioxidants in one bottle of essential oil. Okay, it's not just one. So like, for example, some people say, well, I take vitamin C every day because it's a great antioxidant. True. Take vitamin E because it's a great antioxidant. True. Again, true. But it's just one molecule. It's just one antioxidant. No one antioxidant can be the master protector of all oxidative damage because there's too many different types of chemical reactions that can cause oxidation. There's almost an infinite universe of different types of molecules that in our environment, toxins and chemicals, that can produce oxidative damage, right?
Wow. Okay.
So you can't assume one molecule is going to protect against all of that, right? So you need multiple molecules, each having antioxidant protection, but each molecule itself is a little bit different than the other because it can block a different oxidative pathway. Does that make sense?
Yes.
You just don't want vitamin C by itself or vitamin E or just one essential oil molecule. You want an assortment or a blend of those molecules to block as many pathways as possible. And you want, and to get more diversity, you want to rotate those oils, okay, and every day. You don't want to use the same oil all the time, right? So, and you want to make sure those molecules are in your bloodstream all the time. Okay, so what's the best way to get those molecules in your bloodstream all the time? If you apply it, like if you apply it to your wrist or behind your ear or something like this, the molecules are going to enter directly into your bloodstream, and the concentration of those molecules are going to rapidly increase over a period of 20 minutes, over a couple hours, and then it's going to fall down. So you're going to have a rapid rise of essential oil molecules in your bloodstream and then throughout the tissues of your body, and then it's going to subside. It's a pulse, okay?
Yeah.
But if you want a time release effect, like you have a time release capsule that you would take that slowly releases something over time, The best way to get that effect with essential oils is to put it on the bottom of your feet. Okay? Because the bottom of your feet, there's a very thick pad. So most people think you put essential oils on the bottom of your feet because that's the fastest route into your body.
That's what I thought.
And that's not true. It's actually the slowest pathway into your body. Okay? But it's going to give you a nice slow rise in concentration, then it's going to stay constant in your bloodstream because your foot absorbs that in the fat sole of the foot, the pad, which is adipose tissue, which is lipids or fat. And so that tissue holds on to the essential oil molecules like a time release capsule. And then it releases it slowly into your bloodstream over the course of the day. So if you put it on the bottom of your feet, you'll constantly have a low level of essential oils in your bloodstream. All right? So it's like a time release. So most people think, I got to get essential oils into my bloodstream as fast as possible. And my question back is, why? Why does it matter how fast they get into your bloodstream? Does that change anything? Now, I understand if you have a migraine headache, or if you just got hurt really bad, you have a really acute pain, you're like, I need to deal with this right now. I want the fastest response I can get. Like I have a migraine, I want to get rid of this. Okay, so look at the fastest pathway. I get that. But if it's a chronic issue, like say you're dealing with rheumatoid arthritis, or maybe you're dealing with MS, or maybe you're dealing with diabetes, or maybe you're dealing with whatever, right? It's a chronic issue your body always has. It doesn't matter how fast. It's going to be the problem's going to be around tomorrow and the next day and the next day. What you want is the molecules to be in your bloodstream at a constant level for a long period of time, not a rapid increase. It doesn't matter how fast they get in. If it takes some time to get in, so what? What you want is it to be a prolonged thing. So it's the same thing with oxidative damage to our DNA. We're constantly, our DNA is constantly being damaged 24/7, right? So even when we're sleeping, our DNA is being damaged. Well, why? Because our immune system will also damage our DNA, unfortunately, because most of us Western people are walking around with chronic inflammation. Our immune system is attacking our own body. And when the immune system attacks our own body, even at a low level that we may not even be aware of, okay, the white blood cells are basically generating and attacking the tissues of our body with reactive oxygen species. That's how immune system fights off infection. That's how it fights off bacteria, virus. It will zap them with a high level of reactive oxygen species and kill the bacteria, kill the virus, kill the bad tissue in our body, whatever that tissue is, zapping it with reactive oxygen species. But if you have chronic inflammation, which means your immune system's activated when it shouldn't be activated, which most people are walking around with some level of chronic inflammation. Why? Because of the food we eat and the toxins we have in our environment in the Western society. Because of those two things, we're all walking around, whether you like it or not, with a low level of chronic inflammation, some people more than others. So our immune systems are basically generating reactive oxygen species, whether or not we're absorbing oxidants from toxins in our environment or not. Our immune system can generate these reactive oxygen species and attack the tissues of our body. So inflammation in our body will lead to cancer because of that. So when we have inflammation in our body, your immune system's attacking some tissue in your body, maybe it's the joints in your body or the nerves or other organs or tissues in your body, and or your intestinal lining, whatever it is that your immune system is, your thyroid, whatever is the immune system is basically attacking, or just generically. Sometimes our immune systems aren't attacking any one specific area in our body, but it's just just like homogeneously, happening in our body. And so when those reactive oxygen species are doing their job, they're basically damaging the DNA, and the DNA is mutating. That happening over decades of time will lead to cancer. So people that have chronic inflammation have higher levels of cancer, right? So, so when you're sleeping at night, if you have chronic inflammation, that's still happening. So your DNA is being damaged even as you sleep. Okay. So you want the essential oil molecules in your bloodstream basically all the time, and you can't be sitting there with your rollerball every 2 hours, putting it on yourself. You can get these rapid spikes up and down. So that's why I recommend people put the oils on the bottom of their feet, and put them on there in the morning, and then at night before you go to sleep. Those 2 times a day, that should give you a nice smooth time release effect. Okay. Now, what oils should you use for that? So this is the number one reason why everybody on the planet should use essential oils, because everyone's DNA is the most important thing to protect. We already went over that. If you don't protect it, you're gonna have aging and cancer and everything else. Everyone's dealing with it, right? It's a universal problem. And so the number one thing we could do to improve our health or protect our health is to protect our DNA. The best way to protect our DNA is through antioxidants. The best antioxidants on the planet are essential oils. And so there's the line of reasoning right there. So everyone should use essential oils every day. And they should put it on their body. So what I did is I went through the scientific literature to understand which oils are the best antioxidants. And again, I went by the principle of you should rotate these, okay, to get as many pathways as you possibly can. Now, many people go by what they call the ORAC score. Have you heard of this?
Yes.
The ORAC score, okay? So the ORAC score is flawed because it only looks at one chemical pathway for oxidation. So certain essential oils will score really good on the ORAC pathway, but on another chemical oxidative test, they'll do really poorly. All right, so there's no correlation. So there's different ways, again, to have oxidative damage, not just one way. Remember, I went by vitamin C. You just don't want one antioxidant. You want many working together. So that's why the ORAC score is flawed. Just because an oil does really well on the ORAC score doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be a great antioxidant overall. Okay. So I went through the scientific literature to try to understand that, and I designed blends, okay, that are made to be rotated throughout the week. So there's a blend for Monday, there's a blend for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. 7 days a week, there's a different blend, okay? So to make it easy, because it can get confusing, we came up with these roller balls, okay? To make it easy, my wife makes these. Look like this, if you can see them.
Oh, cool.
They're labeled each day of the week.
Yeah.
Tuesday. So you get,
that's cool.
So there's a pack of these, right? You come in a little bag, you get 7 roller balls.
Yeah.
See them?
Yeah.
And there's nice recipe cards. Let's see. There you go.
Oh, cool.
One for each day of the week.
Nice.
Okay. And it comes with the kit. So you can make these blends up. Once you make them up, they'll last months. So you put them on the bottom of your feet every day, and you have the bag so it reminds you to do it. So yes, we have that, but we also have the class. Okay.
Yeah.
You can go to starfishsense.com.
Nice.
And get the class, Protecting Your DNA. If you get the class, which is a digital class of me teaching this information, but in more in depth and with slides, so you can see I'm actually teaching with slides, and so you can see what I'm talking about. Yeah. But then if you do that, you'll also get the digital recipes. So I'll send you, if you get the class, I'll also email you the recipe digital file so you can print out your own recipe cards. So if you don't want to get the roller balls, you want to make up your own roller balls, just get the class, and I'll send you the digital files for the recipe cards, and you can make them up yourself.
Nice.
Okay. Or if you just already have the roller balls made for you because it's more convenient, that's also at starfishsense.com.
Yeah. I'm getting ready. Somebody just asked what the website was. I'm going to type it in here for them. So that's why I'm looking like I am right now. So just so you, just so you know. Hey, I have a quick question before we move on super quick. What's your take on ingesting versus putting them on the bottom of your feet? Like would there be a good reason to ingest oils ever if really the bottoms of our feet might be what is going to be doing the trick for the most part? Is there a time that ingesting is better? Just curious.
Yeah, so that's a good question. There is differences between the different application methods. If you go to starfishsense.com, there's a class there called Essential Oil Application Methods.
Okay.
I explain the differences between all the methods, like ingestion, topical application. Okay, but just in briefly, in short, if you ingest an essential oil, it's going to go through your intestinal wall into the hepatic portal vein, and the hepatic portal vein is going to collect that and send it to your liver. So the essential oils basically go through your stomach to the upper small intestine, get absorbed as it's moving through the intestine into the hepatic portal vein, which is then collected to the liver. The liver then processes the molecules from the essential oil, metabolizes them, just like you would any drug, right? Before the molecules are sent into your bloodstream, to your systemic circulation of your bloodstream. So your liver sees the molecules first. And there's phase 1 and there's phase 2 enzymes in your liver that will basically alter the molecules in the essential oil before they get to your bloodstream. So when you ingest an oil, your stomach and your intestines will see the native molecules.
Okay.
What's actually in the bottle. So here's essential oil in the bottle, you ingest it, that's the exact chemical structures your stomach is going to see and your intestine is going to see. And then even your liver is going to see initially. Then your liver is going to convert these molecules and change them into slightly different form. All of them, for the majority of them. So some of them will not be changed, most of them will. And the ones that will be changed, it won't be 100%. It may be like 98%.
Okay.
Right? So 2% might get through that's native, and the other 98% has been metabolically changed by your liver.
Okay.
Then those molecules go to your bloodstream, goes to your heart, then to your lung, then back to your heart, and then through the rest of your body, collected through the veins, back to your heart, right? So, so if you put them on the bottom of your feet or somewhere else on your body, the essential oil molecules go right into your bloodstream, and they're going through your systemic circulation first. So the tissues of your body are seeing the native molecules before your liver has a chance to process them. Eventually, the molecules will get to your liver. Your liver is still going to metabolize them eventually and change their structure. Why? Because your body wants to get rid of these molecules. Doesn't want them to stick around. It's a foreign, even though they're great, they're still considered a foreign molecule to your body, like any other thing. So your body is trying to change the structure of the molecules to make them more water soluble, so you can pee them out. If they stay lipophilic or lipid soluble like they are, you won't be able to pee them out, and the molecules will build up in your body and you won't get toxicity.
Okay.
So your liver is basically changing their structure to make them more water soluble, and now you can pee them out. So when you ingest an oil, it's going to go right to your liver first before the rest of the tissues in your body have a chance to see them. If you right, but your stomach, your intestines, and your liver will see the native form of the molecules. So I tell people, what's a good time to ingest essential oils? When you're dealing with an issue with your stomach, with your intestines or your liver, because those three organs are going to see the native molecules and pretty high, concentration right localized, right? It's going to be right there.
Yeah.
So if you're dealing with something that's a great time to ingest. If you apply to your feet, now I'm not saying, now people think I'm saying that means that once you ingest an oil and the liver transforms the molecules are worthless. That's not true. They are still therapeutic. It's just that their therapeutic nature has changed now, and it's more unpredictable about what exactly is happening. It's not fully understood in the scientific literature, the different metabolites that your liver produces and what the effects of each one of those molecules are. So
Right.
a lot of the data where somebody says, I ingested an oil and it helped my headache or whatever, is anecdotal. Okay, there's not a lot of research to back that up. Not saying it's not true. It's just that there hasn't been research to catch up with the anecdotal information.
Right.
So it's just more an unknown when you ingest an oil. Like say if you're trying to deal with an issue with your shoulder and you ingest an oil, well, it's going to your liver first. It's being processed. The molecules are changing. Are they going to help my shoulder? I don't really know. You can try it and see, right? But you can also put the oil right on your shoulder, and your shoulder's getting the native original molecules before they've been changed. Does that make sense?
So it does. So so it sounds like anything digestive system related, but then also your intestines house, a lot of your immune response, right? And then also allergic responses, which matches with immune. And then also depression and anxiety. Don't those refer from your gut first?
Yeah, there is a gut-brain axis and everything's connected. There's the microbiome, that's in our GI, and that's a very complex ecosystem with the microbiome. And so, yes, so you can begin to affect things that way too. So your immune system is connected into your gut in a very complex way that they don't fully understand yet. But it's also connected to your brain as well. So yeah, there's a lot of very interesting things. But the molecules do change once they get to your liver. Yeah. And so like if you want the native molecules to do their thing, then you want to apply through your skin. Now, if you use sublingual, right under your tongue, that's not considered the digestive pathway. It's gonna go because it's not gonna go through your intestines and then through your liver. So
because it's still your skin. I get it.
Yeah.
Just inside skin.
Inside skin. So So if you put it under your tongue, sublingual, very fast absorption pathway, but also going right into your bloodstream. If you inhale an oil through diffuser, going through your lungs, rapidly diffused through the lungs, and permeates through the lung tissue into your bloodstream, goes to your heart, circulates the rest of your body. The molecules aren't changed. Apply to your skin, your elbow, inside your elbow, your armpit, wherever. It's going to go into your bloodstream and not be changed by your liver. But eventually your liver is going to change it. But you're at least having that initial period of time where your tissues of your body are seeing native molecules.
Yeah.
I go over all this in my class, essential oil application methods. I have a big chart in the class that shows you the different application method and what's the benefits of each one and what the downside of each one is. So that's in that class, essential oil application. You can get that at starfishsense.com as well.
Man, you guys. Starfishsense.com is where you need to be. So it's, there it is, you guys. And a lot of people have written in the comments too. So essential oil application methods, and then the other one is the DNA repair, which, I mean, that's, you guys, that's everything. That's, Did you, somebody was saying something. Let me just, unless you had something else to say real quick, and then we can just hold off if you want.
No, go ahead. Any questions?
Okay, cool.
I can talk all
Um,
night long if I keep going.
I'm
You don't want that. You don't want to just give me an open.
I'm the same. I'm the same. Um,
Yeah, but
uh,
will put people to sleep.
Rita said, I have autoimmune, need to rethink my application of oils. And she said that when you were starting to talk about putting them on your feet. You know, I thought this is something that I heard years ago from somebody in another company, but they said that to put oil on your feet because that's where your biggest pores were. So that's what I've been preaching to people. Man, I'm so glad we're having this conversation. Oh,
I have
Lord.
an article about that. I go over the science of it in my FAQ database.
Oh, good. Good, good, good.
But it's also in my book. If you get How Do Essential Oils Work, I have a whole chapter on that.
Oh,
It
I love it.
explains the foot and everything.
I love it. I love it. Diana said, I thought your body recognized oil molecules and liked them. And yeah, it sounds like they're still seen as not our native cells. So they're going
just like anything else, right? So
or native
if you
molecules.
take vitamin C, your body needs vitamin C, no doubt. Your body doesn't synthesize vitamin C. Other plants, animals synthesize vitamin C. Humans don't. Ascorbic acid, right? You take it, you get it in the foods that you eat. Your body absorbs some of it, excretes the rest that it doesn't need. You get rid of it. So every molecule is like that, right? So even the foods and the things you eat, your body only takes in so much and gets rid of the rest. Essential oils, there's going to be some of them sticking around in your fat tissue because they're lipophilic, right? So they're gonna want to absorb into the lipids, triglycerides, lipid membranes in your cells. So they kind of want to hang around those other molecules, but eventually your cells are going to get rid of them, and it's going to be processed by your liver, and it will clear out of your body over time. So there's 3 different pathways that essential oils will leave your body: urine, feces, and when you breathe. So your body will metabolize them and convert them into CO2, carbon dioxide, as well, and then you're breathing out the oils that way. So there's 3 pathways your body gets rid of. The most prevalent pathway is your urine, but you're not going to find the initial essential oil molecules in your urine. You're going to find metabolites that have, changed.
So I have a question based on how I use a certain product, and I don't know if I'm doing it right. Can I just ask you? Or I don't know if I'm doing it effectively, right? There's no right or wrong probably. But Progestins Plus, there are days where I need it more than other days, right? So whenever on those days where I need it more, I drink it and I put it's just down the hatch. Is that helpful? Or would it be more helpful to put it, say, on the bottom of my feet?
So the best place, my wife says, and my wife uses it, and she uses natural progesterone and has for a long time, even before she started with Young Living, because she realized through a lot of research she did, she was estrogen dominant.
Right.
And she had her hormones checked, and she started using natural yam-derived natural progesterone.
Right.
And then when she got on board with Young Living, she started using Progestins Plus. And the most beneficial way she's found is under her tongue, sublingual.
Okay.
Okay. Ingesting it, whether or not.
I'm just like this. It's like.
Yeah, I mean, like stomach acid, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if the stomach acid environment, which is like a pH of 1 or 2, would alter the progesterone. I know that's not the most bioavailable pathway to introduce progesterone to your body. The best way is through topically through your skin or through your sublingual. right?
There we go.
This would be the best pathway to get the progesterone into your body. That's how Amy does it. And she's used a few different products to work on that, but it really does make a difference. And in fact, when that stuff starts getting low, I tell her she needs to order it.
It has saved my marriage.
I get on her and I'm like, you better get that stuff ordered. Order 2, 3, 4 bottles. Get it in, because when you run out, it's not a good thing. What Amy's saying something in the background. She said that she puts it under her tongue and then she swallows whatever's left after 60 seconds.
After 60 seconds. Yeah,
Yes,
I drink so much I burp it up.
And then whatever's left after she just swallows it.
Okay.
But she's also got one she puts on her wrist and she gets it in there. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's good to know. That's good to know. And it is. That's a marriage saving oil right there.
Yeah. It does help.
It does, absolutely. Hey, Kim has a question, and I think that it sounds like a pretty serious question, so I did want to make sure that we ask it. She said, do you know if our oils interfere with chemotherapy?
The research I'm familiar with chemotherapy and oils is that oils help you tolerate chemotherapy better. When you're under chemotherapy, there's an extreme amount of oxidative damage occurring in your body and oxidative stress, and essential oils tend to help. So there's a lot of clinical data, clinical research I've seen. So if you go to PubMed or you go to Google Scholar, Google has a search tool that I like better than PubMed. It's called Google Scholar, and you just type that in Google Scholar and it'll come up. And then search from there. Don't search from the initial Google toolbar. Go Google Scholar, click on that, then search. And just type in chemotherapy essential oil. You'll find tons of research, which oils they're using. But generally what I'd say is what I've seen is it tends to help tolerate it. Okay. To reduce the side effects that come along with it. Now that's something you should definitely talk about with your doctor, because there could just be some interference there depending on the chemotherapy, depending on the oil. Again, the oils are going to interfere with your liver because your liver has to metabolize the oils, and your liver is also trying to deal with metabolizing chemotherapy, and so you don't want to put too much toxic stress or burden on your liver at one time. So talk about it with your doctor, but what I would think is you wouldn't want to do chemotherapy and oils at the exact same time. You want to space those out from each other so your liver's not dealing with too many things at one time. Yeah. Oh, that's really good advice.
We can take one more question. I know everybody's just like, so many questions. We can take one more question. Sarah said, I know Mary applies Progestins Plus to her face. Is applying oils to the face beneficial because of all of the blood vessels close to the surface of the skin?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, the essential oils are going to get in. This is why it's important to fix the oil. You know what that means? Fixing the oil? All right, so that's basically just blending it with coconut oil or something like that.
Okay.
Because you're going to say, well, I'm diluting it. Well, it doesn't matter if you're diluting it because you can always apply more. Right? If you dilute it 10 to 1, apply 10 times more of the final diluted product. Essential oil molecules are pretty small. The monoterpenes are the smallest guys in there, and those are going to evaporate the fastest. Right? So if you just put neat, like 100% oil on your skin, the smallest molecular weight, the monoterpenes are going to evaporate first. So before they have a chance to absorb into your blood capillaries, a lot of it may evaporate away, and you might not get it, right? The larger molecules, like the sesquiterpenes and the diterpenes, those don't volatilize or evaporate away as quickly. So those will have more chance or more opportunity to permeate into your skin and get into your bloodstream. So what happens is if you just put the oil on neat, you'll get a skewing. The larger, you'll get more of the larger molecular weight molecules into your bloodstream and less of the lighter molecular weight molecules. But if you dilute it first in coconut oil and apply it to your skin, the coconut oil fixes the lighter molecular weight molecules so they don't evaporate as fast. It slows down the evaporation of all the molecules because coconut oil is the molecules in coconut are very, very large. Like you said, if the molecules are that big in coconut oil, the essential oil molecules are maybe that big.
Oh, wow. Okay.
The difference. So those don't, coconut oil doesn't evaporate very fast at all. But once you blend, well, there's a process in, a concept in chemistry that you have lighter molecular weight compounds blended with larger, the lighter ones will basically take on the evaporative nature of the larger molecules. So they'll kind of stick around and wait. So if you apply it to your face, like what you're asking about, if it's already diluted in a coconut oil or something, an oil that you like for your skin, any of the vegetable oils, seed oils, those are all those are not essential oils. Those are completely different.
Mm-hmm.
They're based off triglycerides, right? That are broken down. So or fractionated, like fractionated coconut. You basically take fatty acids, and they're basically very large molecules. So you blend with that, you put it on your skin, then the lighter molecular weight. So if they're all there on your skin, they're going to get, where are they going to go? If they get into your skin, they're going to be absorbed through the capillaries and then go into your bloodstream. So,
awesome.
So yeah, you can get them there. It's just the matter of the rate, right? How fast does that happen over time, right? So if you take, if you go to my class, Essential Oil Application Methods, or if you get my book, How Do Essential Oils Work, I have a graph in the book that shows you the different anatomical regions of the body. Armpits, your groin, everything.
Yeah.
Everything's included, basically, behind your ears. And I show you how fast the molecules are absorbed at that point in your body. I show you a graph.
Wow. Can I ask a goofy question that I was thinking whenever you were talking about the bottoms of our feet? Can I just be me for a second? Going along the line of thinking that I'm going to embarrass myself right now, and I'm going to do it anyway. Along the line of thinking that the bottoms of the feet help, slow down or do that extended release of the oil because there's fat there. What if you were to put the oils on your butt? Is that like?
I knew that was coming.
Is that the same thing?
Yeah,
that's what I was like. I feel like people could just.
I kind of think that there's not enough capillary tissue network of blood vessels there to. Okay. I feel like the molecules would hang around in the fat of your butt, and they really wouldn't get into your bloodstream readily.
Too much fat.
Too much, and not enough blood vasculature, right? Your foot has a good balance of both, right? You get you cut the bottom of your foot, pretty deep, you'll get a lot of bleeding, right?
Yeah.
So there's good vasculature there. It's good capillary system, right past the pad, right? So I feel like I could be wrong on this one, but I feel like the butt would probably not give you this.
Okay.
But you could try.
I don't even know what.
You might best try that one. See how that one works out.
That's a YouTube video, right? That time I tried to put oils on my butt. I'll tell you how it works. Oh my word! 1 million views.
Yeah.
So
just don't twerk while you're doing it.
Right.
No twerking.
Oh my word. Rachel said Martha's over here trying to find ways for Mike to give her a butt massage. Oh my word. Okay, so um cool. Well, it's 8:30. I don't want to keep you too late. So the thank you for coming on, and we'll just set up another time to come on again.
Yeah.
Starfishsense.com, you guys. Go there, and like I said, spend all your money on starfishsense.com. You guys, we need to be knowing these things. Yeah, there you go. It's right there. We need to know this stuff. He says it and he presents it in such a digestible way. I think we can all agree with that in these videos. I mean, I believe, I feel a collective mind blowing, like we're all just sitting here like, whoa. And I just appreciate you coming on. So thank you so much, Doug.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. I like being in. Thank you.
Awesome.
Yeah,
well,
so
everybody.
I'll be at this weekend. I'll be at Shannon Hudson's event in Michigan at the what is it called? I don't remember. But if any of you guys are going, it's up there near Fenton, Michigan. I'll be there.
Oh, cool.
I'll be there Saturday giving 2 talks. So if you guys are there, we'll see you there and see you in a couple of days.
Yeah. I wish I were going to that. I'll be in Calgary. If anybody's in Calgary, I'll be speaking in Calgary, doing a different thing. So we'll all just be talking this weekend. We're all just come meet us all talking.
Yeah. Love
right?
You guys. Yeah.
Cool. Well, you have a good night. Thanks so much again for coming in, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye. Have a good night.
Bye-bye. You too.
Bye.